the fireplace, where my letters to you are burning. You had time to think about us for a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the second annual Tyler Wright Memorial Truck and Tractor Pull. I'd like to thank you all for coming.
Food's great, weather's great, you know, good trucks and good tractors here, and we're looking to have a good day of truck and tractor pulling, and hopefully everything goes good.
I'm president of the Indiana Pulling League, Richard Crowell. The classes that have been running here early in the show, there's some of them that pull on the pro pulling circuit. So you're seeing some of the best in the nation are here today.
Our whole concept of this is to exploit Tyler's story, but yet we're using him in that manner, but it is to tell the story that can fit absolutely everybody. I said last year that you might see this that happened in Philadelphia. It happens out in the cornfields where we live at in rural America. Tyler had these great abilities about him. He was a very good-looking boy, hard-working, very polite.
Everything's just right, yeah, except for one thing. You should be here, standing with your arm around me.
He just had it all. To where in our story here that we want to tell, we kind of use my little brother and I, we run our dad's 3 turbocharged super stock throughout the summer for exhibition runs, and it brings a lot of I guess you'd say notoriety to Tyler, our family, the farm, what we do.
We was wanting to put together a 4-engine super mod. We're trying to work on funding in that era. Tyler and I, we talked about it. He told me one day in the shop, he asked me, he said, "Dad," he said, "what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm watching this sprint car race, trying to jot down sponsors that would be in rural America that someone might entertain getting on a pulling tractor." And he told me, he said, "Well, Dad," he said, "you know, as hard as you're trying on this and as much focused as you are and the tractor pulling you did with Grandpa, I think you're going to make it." And I told him, I said, "Well, if we don't, it won't be from a lack of effort. You know, you can't help what someone else brings in to your movie of your life." So that's why we would push on with the farming and the tractor pulling and trying to keep this part here. If Tyler liked eating pie, we'd have a pie eating contest.
We use the pulling tractor and the event to draw people in a happy manner, to try to open up their pores, and then we try to inject this situation into them and what happened, and maybe some things maybe to look for to maybe prevent it. Because of the overall aspect of it, not just myself, but my son, Toddy Ray, and just the overall family and the people in the community, that nobody should have to live this life if we can prevent it any way at all.
If you find someone that's of the level of Terry McMillan and he takes in some farm boy from Forest, Indiana that he's never met before in his life and says, "I'll help you," no problem. So he told me, he said, it's the U.S. Nationals, and you know what month is suicide prevention? I said, no. He said, September. Him and Terry looked at each other and they said, well, what about wrapping the car in them colors for the U.S. Nationals? And he said, is that okay with you? And I said, yeah. I said, I'd pay for the wrap if you guys would do that for us. And I just met Terry McMillan, and he told me, he said, I'm not taking no money for that wrap. We'll get ours back in another way. So this Labor Day weekend, Terry McMillan's Top Fuel Dragster will be in the suicide prevention colors with a picture of Tyler on the side of it. That's like that there. We always went to the U.S. Nationals and we talked about maybe getting an A fuel dragster or something like that. And now Tyler's going to go down the track on the side of Terry's car, and that just wasn't the way it's supposed to be.
I've always liked truck pulling. I don't know, something that I've always wanted to do, and been fortunate enough to have good friends to help you. And it's just, I don't know, something you always want to do from the time you're little. Either you want to do it or you don't. I've known the Wrights for a long time. Tim used to be married to my aunt, so that obviously was prior to me even being here. But I've known Tim and the boys. I've known them all my life. So, you know, it's unfortunate of what's happened and what brings us here today. But, you know, if we can all pull together to support a good cause, then that's what I want to try to help Tim do.
Always good, always a nice crowd here, a great event. A great thing to be a part of. I mean, why not? And the Indiana group is the only group of our association at this point who's actually doing anything like this at this point. We'd like to bring some more guys into it to make this thing bigger, as Tim and the Wright family wants. And so maybe next year we can make it a little bigger than it was this year. That's our plan. I've known the Wright family since I was in 6th grade. I actually worked for them as a kid when they farmed out by my hometown, Kirkland. I used to ride my bicycle in the summertime to their farm to work through the day. So yeah, I've known the Wright family. I knew their parents, their sister, known them pretty much all my life. Became really good friends, and then when this happened, you know, we just kind of grouped up and came to help.
At a point with our organization where we're starting to catch the attention of several different people and everything, and hoping to make this a little bit bigger and better again next year, and maybe add another class or two, and keep making this thing grow at what we do, and at that same time help all of our pulls grow and make them bigger and better and more successful too. So the classes that have been running here early in the show, there's some of them that pull on the pro pulling circuit. We have a couple light super guys that if you watch the MAV TV pro pulling circuit, they're here today to support our organization. Same thing with our light limited class. There's a couple light limited pro stocks that you'll see on the MAV TV show also. So you're seeing some of the best in the nation are here today.
Well, actually, I've known the Wright family and Tyler for several years, and just appreciated their family, and especially the way things have happened the last couple of years, and wanted to help out in this event. So actually, we just gave some money to help out with it. We have some, actually, with our agency, we have some people here working as well, and taking tickets and money. So we have some of our staff here as well. So.
and for years we've been involved in NHRA Top Fuel drag racing. Actually, my boss is Terry McMillan, Top Fuel Car, running out right now. As a matter of fact, as we speak, they're in a fight for the championship, NHRA National Championship in Seattle, Washington today.
We have an International 5488, and we call it Showtime. It's a 4.1 Limited Pro, 9,500 pounds. We pull PPL, some NTPA, and some IPL.
We're camping here. We came down to help set up the track and stuff. And there's some good tractors yet to come tonight. The best of the best is here tonight. We've been pulling for quite a while. We're doing pretty good now, so it runs pretty good. Just worked all week putting it back together so I could come to this pull today. My water injection pump quit working and I burned all 6 pistons, so I had to put new piston sleeves in it, new clutch. It took a couple days.
We started pulling the light super stock in 2004. We used to run farm stuff years ago. It's a 4010 component chassis, 505 cubic inch on alcohol. Doug told us about it last year and invited us up, and we came back again. We had a great time.
Mine's Bad Addiction's got a 3406 cat, single charger, 5.5. We've worked all week from last weekend and basically coming here to get ready for Champions Tour event next weekend.
William Miller, Bad Attitude. I got a KT 1150 Cummins. Basically the same, a little less on horsepower, same setup, get ready for next weekend basically.
I want to lay down a good pass, put them on the trailer unbroke.
Well, it's a light pro stock. Tim Engler built the chassis. It's a New Holland engine built by Max Simpson Performance up in Charlotte, Michigan. CM Pulling Tires cuts our tires. And
well, 2 of my employees are heavily involved, Craig Hogwood, J.R. Winiger, and I also had an employee commit suicide 3 years ago, one of my managers, and it hits hard, no matter who it is, and you know, I've got family and friends, and that question mark is always there.
It's good to have them guys on board. They got great equipment, good business, and you know, like he said, he'd experienced something of what we did have with Tyler, and it's a life changer. You know, even whether it's your son or like, you know, he said, as far as his employee, it changes everything. You know, it's hard to explain the devastation of the situation, and what you had going, and where you had, like he might have had plans for him to take over part of the business and setting things up, and then on one certain moment everything changes and you have to regroup as far as that. So it's, you know, it's good
Just
to have
like
it. Yep, exactly. So, you know, it's bad that it happened to him, but it's good to have them guys there. And you know, we're here for him and he's here for us as far as that part. So we kind of like, we just stick together in that sense of it. I wanted to be sure and thank all the people that helped. Shannon, she's a good girl. She helped out. Heather, she was my girl that helped me throughout the year there, was kind of my right-hand man. Effie come on board, started doing interviews with me and coordinating and setting up things. She did the decals for the Top Fuel Dragster. Toddy Ray, he participated throughout the time. My brother, he just did generality things with me, whatever loose ends needed to be taken care of. My brother's girlfriend, Rhonda, she was in there. She was doing the cook. She did a lot of cooking that day. That was one of her things, you know. My little sister, my banker, Ashley, and Lindsay, I get my banker girls to work in the trailer and working the money. Doug for being real good at the announcing. He does real good at that. You know, JR checked the tractors in, did the scales, draw bar. I mean, it's everybody, you know, you guys, you know, you did a fantastic job on, I mean, I'm sure this video is going to turn out great. Little Effie helped me tremendously on all the interviews and the tractor pull. I want to give a thanks to her. You know, she's a good girl to help me in all the ways she helped. Doing the suicide prevention on Terry McMillan's Top Fuel Dragster. She worked with Brett Tishner and Tipton on the decal of making it look better and shaping it and how it would go about all that. So she was, she's been a big help to me and a help to my mind. She helps my mind. I enjoy talking with her. She's a peaceful person. You know, I got a good group and it takes everybody. And no matter whose job it is or whatever it is, if it's a little girl selling the shirts, everybody that's on the team is just as important as the next one. And it's like I always told the boys, when we go to the top and we get there, and we will, always remember all the people that was with you when you was on the bottom. Because when you make it to the top, they'll come out of the woodwork. They'll all want to be a part of the action then. Well, be sure in your life that you never forget the people that was with you when you was on the bottom. You know, that'll be your foundation. If you don't build a foundation in a personal relationship with someone, in your business, or even in your own life, the house will fall down. If you go for the quick fix, which is what my son did, for whatever his problem was, the house falls down. My dad always told me, he said, son, in life and in business, shoot for the moon. There will be plenty of places to get off the corporate ladder before you get there if you so choose, but go for the top. That's just like we talked earlier there. That's like the Top Fuel Dragsters. I mean, all the drag racing is good, I mean, as far as that, but there's a reason they call it Top Fuel. It's the ultimate people. It's the ultimate braveness, the ultimate business person, the ultimate speed. That's why they call it Top Fuel. To be able to get to that level. And that's kind of the way he was as a person. And that's why we groomed him, you know, as to, you know, be the best of the best. I'm going into the 3rd year of Tyler's death. And I replay that day. I can remember everything that was said, everywhere we stood, and I've played it over and over to try to come to some realization of maybe what transpired that I missed. And I don't have a whole lot of luck. That day, for people, he was with me all day. We worked, we laughed. I got to tell him he did a good job. He was working one of the 4-wheel drive tractors. I got to tell him I loved him. We was talking to him about a farm he was interested. We was looking at getting on government's got a one-time buyer thing for young boys getting started. The neighbor boy come down. We talked. We laughed. We went to town, picked up that Cobalt at the Eric Chevrolet place, and come back. Tyler had made a couple phone calls as we checked his phone to check with the accountant on the fuel tax permits for his truck to start hauling tomatoes. We still did that then. And just a general routine business day for him because I'd turned him into a little business person. And we went to go put up a wagon and go mow at another farm. And I hooked him onto his pickup. He hooked me up mine. And the last words I said to him was, come on, let's go. And he pulled out and I pulled out. We went to the other farm and I started to mow, and he put the wagon in the tool shed, and as I was mowing the roadside, he drove beside me. He never looked at me. He had his hands at 10 and 2 on there, and I never hollered at him or nothing to come back or what he was doing. And I went ahead and finished mowing, and then in a couple hours, I found him at another one of the farms, and he had took his life. Instead of, I guess, I don't want to say give up on that, but devoting a lot of energy and mind to that, I need to kind of cut away from it sometimes and get back on this, something that can be positive for everybody, as we put this on YouTube and it goes all over the world, that use my time and effort, maybe more on that, to be able to continue to let people know that knew Tyler, but yet there'll be millions of people that didn't, that they can know that he was someone that was a positive force here in all aspects. And as they know people of the same caliber, that even though they're that way, still watch out for them. Just because they're really good at that, they might not be really good at warding off people, as I say in our talk at the tractor pull, of people that will do you wrong in all aspects, whether it's verbally of lying or their actions physically or whatever it might be. That they take you on an emotional roller coaster ride, because we have massive emotions as human beings, that you're extremely high, you're extremely low, and they take you off with only their own goals and what they're looking for, and they'll have absolutely no remorse for where they drop you off at. All those things come into play, that if there's any way anybody can watch our videos, come to Tyler's Tractor Pull. Try more and more to learn about the story. That if you see some of your friends or some of your family members that might not be just like they were, to be sure and ask them, talk to them, try to bring them to the event, try to get them to watch our videos. Hopefully that might be something to trigger diverting them from what Tyler done. You asked me a while ago what our ultimate goal was for Tyler's Tractor Pull, and that is to go to the level of having a Pro Pulling League Forrest Lucas Champions Tour pull that's on MAV TV. That's my own personal thing. That's where I want to go. When we can go there, then I can go over to the cemetery and tell Tyler, we made it to the top. There's no higher we can go. We finally made it to top fuel. We can't get no higher, So I use the things that you taught me, Tyler, and I use some of the things that I've gathered, and I use some of the things that my dad had taught me to accomplish when we get there. And we will get there. We're just not there yet. But we're not going to falter, and we're not going to give up, and that's the way Tyler was. He never faltered. He never give up. Right until the end, and that's why it makes no sense, to what transpired that day.
I want to thank everybody for coming and just being here and trying to support the whole deal, so we can give we're going to give a third of our profits to the Indiana suicide prevention people. We're using this as Tyler's name, but we're not going to help Tyler. He's gone. But we can do something to help every other little kid out here, or somebody's 40, 50 years old that's, things aren't real good for them, and they, contemplate possibly taking your life. But we try to show here that taking your life here on earth just ain't an option. Give it to the guy that really never had a chance, and he's probably the one that will work with you and see you through that you get some help.
I want to say something to all the people that's watching this right now all over the world, that if you're feeling outside yourself and you're even remotely contemplating the suicide, one thing, and it's just my own personal thoughts, find someone that you truly trust and believe as much as you possibly can. If that's not your father, and it might be your buddy's girlfriend, your own girlfriend, or just whatever the acquaintance is, has no relevance on it. Someone that you find peace in and you believe and trust in their word, then you know that, and you've experienced with them through time, that if everything goes wrong and everybody walks away from me, I feel pretty confident that this person will still be there. Find that person and communicate with them. But one of the main things is try super hard. Tell them everything. To make a logical adult decision on anything, whether it's buying an automobile or taking your life. The person that you're asking for help or that's seeking out to help you, they have to have all the information. They have to have the truth to be able to give you the best shot at getting better. It's no different than when you was in school. You'd tell a story at the beginning of the class, and then by the time it got to the back, it was totally different. You can change one word, or just, your facial expressions or body expressions can change things. Just be yourself and tell the truth, but tell it all. Tell everything that there has to this person that you put confidence in, so that on a very short time basis, they can get you some help. Because obviously, if you've made it to this level, I think time is of the essence, that you don't have much time. That it would be very important for two things. Find the person that you confide in and you find the most peace, that they bring the most peace into your life and you believe in them, number one. Number two, be sure that you tell them everything. If you tell them everything, then we got some substance that we can work with. But if you hold things back and you mask things over and you cosmetic it up, there's no way that there's not a human being going, I believe, that can help you when they don't have anything to work with. Or what they do have to work with might be fake or cosmetic. And not that you do that on purpose, just that you don't want someone to know this. Well, there's going to be this one time in your life, and it'd be right now. It doesn't matter. You need to tell it all, no matter how ugly it might be, to be able to prevent this. Because like I said, for Tyler, there's no taking it back. And also with that, there's no sense in doing it. All problems can be solved if you surround yourself with people that actually care about you. And all the technology and medication that we have today, there's hope. There's hope for you. So be sure and confide in the person that you believe and find peace in, and be sure that you tell it all. Tell everything. I think that would be my one thing that I would say. You're all loved by someone, okay? Probably more people than you might even anticipate, all right? But if you feel that you're not, or you question that there, call this number and someone will be there to try to guide you and help you through it.